That was a good lap, Case.
Oh. Morning guys, out here extra early. It is Mother's Day today, and I did not get to practice yesterday, and so came out early, got the cart here, and I want to make some changes. Been dealing with some little just handling gremlins that with these new tires that I just couldn't figure out. So I finally called my boy Mark, and of course I should have done it a lot earlier. He helped me in like 5 minutes, you know, diagnose and figure out exactly what it was. So gonna make some changes. Basically I'm gonna increase the rear ride height on this one because it's the rear after entry is sliding. So gonna make some changes by increasing the ride height here, and then also go to some longer hubs, all in the effort to crank in some grip back here. Dad still asleep, but he's going to be racing as well, and then I'm going to be doing the 2 classes, seeing what I can do in the super heavy as well as my normal class. So it's gonna be another busy but fun day coming at you guys.
We are here on just a fantastic morning. In fact, the best morning out of some pretty good mornings to race go-karts. No wind, temperatures heading towards 70. It's just a spectacular day. And comes after a night where we were out looking for the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, and you know, really couldn't see it. Had some people taking pictures, looking at the pictures, then they could see it, but to the naked eye, not a whole lot. I got a little excited at one point. I thought I had seen them crystal clear, but when I saw that it actually said 346 a gallon, I knew that wasn't what I was looking for. But with that said, the Northern Lights are spectacular, and we are here at the Northern Lights of go-kart racing, Newcastle Motor Sports Park.
The morning walk with Dad.
Been having a lot of fun these first 2 weekends. I'm a little bit faster than I had been last year, and we've got a new tire compound with these MG Reds, and they're a little more, if you're familiar with the Vega tires, they're a little bit more in the Vega line, softer sidewall than what they've had in the past. But one of the things is they don't appear, from what we're telling, or from what we're learning, to have quite the length of time before there's a drop-off as the old ones. And we haven't learned that for sure, but was talking with some people last night, and this newfound success, they were talking about how many races you could get on a tire and be competitive, and they said that their total they were looking at was 2. Well, I'm cheap, right? I'm notoriously frugal, and last year I was getting 5 races at least out of those tires, and so now you're up front, you're doing better, and it sounds like to stay competitive I'm gonna have to buy tires more frequently. So, you know, that's just one of the interesting things that you run into, because you're coming out here, you might as well be competitive, but at the same time you don't want to be spending more money than you do. So anyway, great day to be at the go-kart track. We'll talk to you next week.
Qualifying is over. That cart, and not this cart. This is the cart I started on this morning. I made some changes. and it got a little better, but I still didn't like what I was feeling, so I jumped in Dad's. And the only difference between mine and Dad's is the seat. I've got the Beasley lay down seat, if I could speak, and then Dad's got the stock seat. And this Beasley does not work with these new tires, man. It just, right after entry, it wants to slide. It's like I don't know what it is. I'm not smart enough to really verbalize it, but it slides after turning in. So I jumped in Dad's in second practice, and I was like, money. So Dad's been kind enough to let me co-drive his kart today and put it on pole. It was all, it felt good, guys. Like, you start questioning the driving because the past 2 races have not been good. So it was refreshing. So pole in my Sportsman class and 3rd in super heavy. So the karts are good, man. Now the driver just has to put it together. But I'm stoked.
Go on the pole, Kacy Stahl. That was a good lap, Case.
Oh. that kart, man.
Yeah.
Oh, finally, Dad, man.
Something magic in the kart.
Man.
Yeah, I noticed. I said, how is he going without his kart? 34's got some magic in it this weekend. That's good.
So, a little post-qualifying wrap-up. Yesterday in practice, for the first time, I felt pretty good. And so I thought that was a bad omen, but not really this time. It worked out. I was just looking at the times here. I've qualified 4th. There's 4 Birels, and if you need a Birel, make sure you see Mark Stahl. We're all in the 106.5 range, and it is a tight, packed bunch on a track that is a little bit difficult to pass on. So I expect a little chaos with this equality. We got a couple of Chargers in the back there that if they see a gap, they'll take it. So this could get pretty interesting. Hopefully we just can stay clean and get it back home fast.
Indy's first day at the track.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, you look ready to race, girlfriend.
You ready? Ready to cheer, Mom?
Yeah, you're gonna be a good luck charm for Stahl Racing, huh? Yeah.
All right, super heavy, starting 3rd, right behind Logan, Brennan, and next to Corey, which is Corey's first time racing in super heavy, so that was pretty cool. You're gonna see we were around each other quite a bit. So right here, I know I need to stay with the front 2. I know what their game plan is. It's a game plan that everyone would have. You're going to try to check out, right? So here we are, getting off to a good clean start. And Brennan's going to shoot out into the lead. And I'm slotting into 3rd right behind Logan. The problem is, we were still dialing in this kart to my driving style. And right here you can see, big gap already. We lost him. Corey's right behind me. He's doing, he's pushing me. We're trying to catch him, but I tried a little too hard right here, send it too deep, send it off the track, and then Corey goes on around, and now I'm just going to try to push Corey, see if we can make any, inroads on that gap. Spoiler alert, we did not. But yeah, so just going to push Corey for a while, but then some karts behind us caught up, and I felt like I was getting pressure, and so I needed to make a move on Corey. Right there, I actually probably could have popped out and been far enough up ahead, but I knew his gear was better, like he had more top end, so I didn't think I could do it. But I'm looking on Corey right now, trying to make a move, and it's just not going to happen in this corner, but I'm just going to keep making my presence known. And you can see he was still learning this kart. He was not overly happy with how it was handling. And I'm going to be able to get a good run out of this next corner, the cut through here. And finally, this is coming up to the last lap. So yeah, this is white flag. He's going to try to go a little defensive, but I just going to force my way there and able to move forward. It kind of looks like he got hosed there, which, it's an unfortunate part of it, I suppose. Right here, coming into the last few corners, and I've got Curtis right behind me. He's gonna pop low, make the move. I just mistime it a little bit. I hook his bumper. I think I could have done the over-under if I hadn't hooked him. But I kind of forced it too wide here, and I almost able to make this work. But I needed a bump. I thought maybe Corey was right behind me, but he was not. And so I'm going to make another run out of this cut through, try to get him, and it's close. It's close, but I am not able to get it. Curtis gets third, I get fourth. But it was a fun race.
So KRA3 had a good qualifying run, starting right here behind perennial champion John O'Keefe. Wanted to push John as much as I could to give him a chance and maybe even slide into third, but inside line got a good run, and I think that's John and Drew, and so they outpushed us, and John ended up in third. I really did try to stay on his bumper there, but probably messed up a little bit. And now it's off to the races. And, you know, this is a mixed bag on this race. About all you're going to see is me following these three karts. There are many karts behind me. And again, it was another a long train of karts, another non-technical track, and again, the frustration is here. You can see the gap between the three of those and then the gap back to me. And I really worked hard to try and get to their bumper. And, you know, I guess the three of the best in the class right there. And I can't beat myself up too much because I was running a pretty consistent pace with them. But it's also a weakness that I just could not get to them. A couple times I got close as they raced. Was able to pull in on, you know, Drew a little bit at times, and but real big shout out to Drew, by the way. He's been racing in a lot of the national races and just ripping it up, and it's good to see. Really good guy, and good to see him have some success. He's running up front on a regular basis now. That's about as close as I got to Drew right there. And then I just, you know, it's one of those things where you race up front, the room for error is so small, and I had on back-to-back laps a couple of just, I don't know, driving errors that I can't explain really, and kind of had a little bit of an issue in one of my better turns is typically turn 2, and the kart wanted to step out, and as you're going to see here, there's this gap, and then when we move forward a little bit here, you'll see I ended up about just a little under 2 seconds behind him. So it went from being able to, you know, try and get up just close enough to let him know I was there and that I was a threat and make it a real 4-kart race. It never really was. It was a 3-kart race, and I was hanging back. I suppose the one positive was a lot of good karts behind me, and we were able to pull away, and I think we built a 5 or 6 second advantage over them. So it wasn't all bad. Just disappointing that I had an opportunity and didn't take advantage of it. So downtime common here in the pits. We've got Ben with us today, Kacy here. So I thought I'd try and share some of their insights on racing's most popular vlog, on what they think outside of racing, outside of tire pressure, outside of gear ratio. So I've got 3 simple questions. I'd like for you each to answer them and keep your answers concise, especially here. Are you caught up in the Caitlin Clark frenzy?
I mean, Caitlin Clark, I remember when she was a freshman, we had to scout her, right? Like, I've known Caitlin Clark for 2 years before anybody else even knew who she was. I knew her whenever it was just us and her family. That was it. So I'm over it by now.
You're over it?
Shout out to Katie.
Kacy?
Yeah. No, I'm buying my season tickets to the Fever. I'm on board.
All right.
For reference, Regan a week or 2 ago was like, "Who's Caitlin Clark?" and had to start that.
Question number 2.
Yes.
Would you strap into a SpaceX rocket?
Okay, Regan, hold on, pause this. Okay, Regan is feeding her.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. So,
Thanks, man.
We
So
wanted everybody to know.
question number 2. Would you strap into a SpaceX rocket and spend 2 days on the space station?
And you're telling me there's no certainty I'll be okay.
No certainty.
I don't really get
Okay.
anything from that. I learned my lesson from the submarine. No.
So, pre-Finley and Sarah, yes. But now, I can't take those risks.
Okay.
Are you not
the
answering
submarine's
these?
a good point.
No, I'm giving the question. I'm your MC, Maddie.
Well, why don't I ask the questions then and you can answer too?
No, because I wrote the questions. I know my answers.
Yes, but we don't.
So number 3.
What's your answer, honey?
Heck no.
What about the Kaylin Clark?
He hates flies.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm probably not as... I'm interested. I'm glad for her, but I'm not really caught up in it. So, number 3. Maddie, this is a question that you inspired.
Cute.
Would you go to a Taylor Swift concert if it was free?
Absolutely not.
I would. Absolutely. I would, yeah. I would want to know what the hype's about because everybody's like, oh, you gotta, like, all the boyfriends of people, like, no, I win. It was actually really cool. Like, I would want to see if it
There's
actually lives
just
up
no
to
way.
it.
You
My
would
definition
100%. It
I
was
would
free.
Okay,
My
Odds
definition
are,
of cool.
odds are you go one
is it
time.
just
It's
me?
free.
Never go again.
Is it just me?
but if you could take Sarah,
Odds are you
I
go
would
one
do-
time.
No, it's a standalone.
Technically,
Okay.
Casey has seen
I
Taylor
don't.
Swift
I don't
live,
think I
too.
would go alone. Let's say that. I was assuming I had plus one. I assumed Regan that way.
I
I'm
would
not
go
going
for
alone.
Sarah, 100%. I went to a Taylor Swift concert for Sarah, so 100% there. But if it's me, I'm out.
Well, I don't think Regan would like it or anything.
You know the value of that ticket you're turning
But I
down?
can't sell it.
I would want to know what the experience is like. I would
Yes,
have to
exactly.
live the hype.
It's 3 hours and 15 minutes of your
Oh
life.
my gosh, no way.
And that's just her. That's not the openers.
That's unreal.
There you have it.
I would be there, and I would not let their wife. It would be me. I would.
Now,
They would have to
Indy
take
and I
me.
go. Indy and I are going. That's
There
all
you
I'm
have it.
Aw,
Downtime
true.
in the
When
stall
Taylor's
pit.
in
That sounds just so terrible. 3 hours, man.
I don't know. If
And
you can
15
use that,
minutes.
Casey,
That's
but
longer than
That's her
Titanic.
we
entire
haven't done
set.
anything.
That's longer than Titanic.
Just her.
And Oppenheimer.
That's longer than the Titanic if you were on the Titanic.
Okay, here in the 34 cart. Again, big thanks to Dad. Oh man, this cart was so good. Starting on pole with Riley to my outside, getting in the tram lines here, and taking it nice and slow because you didn't see it, but there were 2 failed starts before. I'm not sure it was my fault, but regardless, I was trying to make sure it wasn't this time. So we get off to a good start finally, and I'm able to jump out into the lead. And the first 10 laps, it was just me leading the race with a few karts. I think there were 4 of us in the lead pack. And so the first 10 laps, pretty boring from a footage standpoint. Just led until 2 laps to go. And here it is, coming to 2 laps to go. Camera swings around, you know that means I'm about to be passed. So Riley, see him setting me up, going to try to pop out, and Matthew's going to be right behind him. And from my race memory, I look back and I thought there was a 3rd cart right behind Matthew. So I thought I had to fight for this. And you'll see, Matthew left me enough room. I just didn't drive it right. I got hung out. I hung myself out in the grass. Again, Matthew left me all the room in the world. Then I got into the marbles, and you'll see I just lose a ton of ground. I mean, really, it was just a boneheaded move. Like, I just cost myself the chance to fight for a race win, and it was super frustrating and annoying to take myself out like that. So here we are on the last lap. They did some fighting. It allowed me to catch up, and I'm an eternal optimist. So I see this, I'm thinking I can make some moves, make some things happen, right? Following Drake here in the last few corners. And I know my only real shot is down the straightaway, which is after this next corner. So I try to time it right, but I don't. I hit his bumper a little bit, throws off my momentum, and I'm going to finish in 4th. And you'll see in this next clip that I was pretty disappointed with myself.
It's a good race, Case.
Was it though, Maddie?
It was. Just sucks how that happens.
Well, I mean, I drove off track. That was all me. It was all me.
Oh, you were trying to be defensive.
No, it's, I don't know what happened.
Oh, gosh darn it, that doesn't
Guys, this is what you come to the Stahl Racing vlog for. We're gonna do a walkthrough of Dad's new camper. This is the ladder. No, not really. Just a little wrap up for the weekend. Huge thanks to this man for letting me use his cart. Didn't do it justice, but that thing was fast, man. And another shout out to Mark Steele. Dude helps us dial it in, and of course can't do anything without good power. So the total package, except for the driver, it is not sitting well. That I screwed that one up, but on to the next eventually. See ya.
It's you.